Welcome to Planet Fanatics. You're watching Chill, Last Name Monger. We got Brian the Grizzly, that's a spoiler king, and we are the Pantheon Podcast. Missing some members right now, but we'll get there. So, we have a lot on topics today. You saw the thumbnail that you all clicked on. The way I want to begin it is in a Lucasfilm, Star Wars, because lately, if you were up to date on your People magazine or People the website,
Mhm.
they've got some Skeleton Crew visuals for us to check out. You see it?
Yep.
All right. Let's just start and read it with let's read it. Actually, did I get the wrong website?
So
It might have been
is
on entertainment. Damn, I wish I had it ready. I was too busy talking to you about
yeah. We were sitting
Jonas
there on the back talking about stuff, and this is what happens.
So the exclusive, okay, it is People. People have the exclusive. This is a look at the kid. This kid here and this kid here. When it comes to child actors, we all love the Blue Rangers from Power Rangers Turbo, right? We all know that it's not always the best possible emoting. Why was that my first? That was my first example, the Blue Ranger from Power Rangers.
I thought you were gonna say the girls from Acolyte, as I was like,
It's not always pristine and precise. But these young boys, one of them who's got a whole prosthetic, who may even be an older guy, we don't know, could be a short person.
yeah.
That's a good way to dance around the limitations of what these kids are going to be able to perform and act. I'm
Yeah.
not going to get facials out of him, but I am going to get body language out of him because it's actually like a really short 15-year-old who's inside of this, or a girl. Girls come in short flavor, and it could be a
Or
boy
an adult.
or an adult because those exist. So first off, looking at that image from that post, from that like screenshot, all right, we got two kids in the Skeleton Crew. Still no word on whether or not they're Jedi. What do you think?
I think they're not going to bring Jedi in from the beginning. I think this is going to be more of a childhood, how you go through childhood, and then now it's going to fast forward to current day, and then we're going to decide how is it actually going to go from there.
What day is current day?
That's a good question. I don't know what time period it's going to end up being.
They said that this first season is the same time Mandalorian's first season was.
Really?
Yep.
That's okay. That's going to be
They
very
probably wanted it to be the time season 3 was, but they realized these kids, we've already filmed it, and we've delayed the project so much, so all of this has to be happening before, so that next time we see them, they'll be older.
They'll be older and age them up, and it makes a lot more sense. That makes a lot more sense. I hate what all these other streaming services are doing with the kid actors, and when you delay something, you have to think positive. How am I going to make the story make sense? So I'm just gonna be completely honest with you. I am worried about anything coming from Star Wars right now. Just 100% honest. Anything coming from Star Wars, I don't feel like they're taking the time to write good scripts. That we're getting good, just nothing is good really. I mean, it's good action or good writing. Never have both. So I worry about it, and they took all this time for Skeleton Crew to come out. We finally got a release date, but like, did they actually work on the script? I don't know. Does the story actually make sense? I don't know.
I'm hopeful. This is one of those Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni overseen projects. John Watts was working on it, pitched on it, and they said, yeah, we'll give this guy a shot. It can fit in. And the idea that these kids that we see on screen here are actual Jedi. Marcus, are you ready to come in? He said yes. Well, that was like a sideways thumbs up still. Yeah, right.
Ready to go.
Yeah. We were just looking at some of these images, but looking at these kids, like maybe they are going to be Jedi. Like these are the Padawans that would have been, except there's no more Jedi Order. There's no place to take these guys. They're still
What
hiding.
are we looking at here?
We're looking at the first exclusive photos of Skeleton
Crew. Oh
yeah.
Yay.
We got this young man. We've got Jude Law, of course, is the lead. He's going to be carrying a lot of the acting. Unlike Harry Potter, where it would be weird when we started seeing so many adults in the first movie.
Yep.
This Jude Law is supposed to be the lead. and these guys will handle what they're able to handle when it comes to their screens. The screen
I'm trying to peep the prosthetics here for my dude is giving off Barney. Like I'm really, maybe I'm just not seeing it in the right light.
You familiar with Max Rebo?
I'm not.
You, Brian?
Not really. No.
Fake fans.
I was say, is this a character I should know? My bad.
Bro, live chat. Educate them on Max Rebo, please.
Let
Somebody.
me know, because
Beyonder says DOA. It is not DOA. No, it's not.
you
Unless you
worried.
mean this stream is DOA because Darius isn't here. Maybe that's what he means. That's Grand Regent. Is this Star Wars?
That's my question, guys. Like, what? From Jabba. Oh, yeah.
The DJ.
Yeah.
And we think he died in Book of Boba Fett.
Yes.
In Jabba's Palace. Yeah.
Yes.
Keep going.
Here's my question though. Like, is this really going to make sense? Everything they've done in the past. Now that Filoni and Favreau are overseeing this project, is it going to make sense with the rest of the Star Wars we've had? I mean, because it's been bad. So even if it's good, if it doesn't make sense in any of the stuff we've had, does that really progress Star Wars?
Easy answer from Falcon. No. I say yes. I say, is it going to progress Star Wars? Well, the story that's happening at the time period 6 years after Jedi, Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, whether you like Book of Boba Fett or not, it's sure tied in. Ahsoka, sure tied in. I think this is part of that, just like Rangers of the New Republic was.
You're not afraid that it might be like Black Widow, too little, too late? Especially if it's supposed to be for the first time Mandalorian came out. But if you release something that should have happened 3 years ago, it's too little, too late. Does that really move along the storyline? Because we're about to get a movie from this thing in a year and a half.
Can somebody catch me up on where this is in the timeline exactly? Like, what's the premise? I don't know much about Skeleton Crew.
Season 1 of Mandalorian is when this happens. That's all we know.
So that's the time period, and you
we
understand.
know nothing. The most we ever known was from this article, which I should be reading, shouldn't I? Let's actually read the words. When asked about what Star Wars fans can expect with the latest addition to its cinematic universe, let me make the words bigger. Cinematic universe. Can I get rid of this thing? Grease. How do you close this?
Honey.
When asked about Star Wars fans can expect, Jude Law tells people that the first word that comes to mind when describing the series is joyful. Hey, I like to hear that.
Okay.
He also explains that viewers will watch the kids maneuver through places where they shouldn't be, and adds that seeing children in that environment, in a Star Wars environment, is thrilling and very, very unique. All right.
Okay.
The depths of Coruscant, like what are these environments that they're not supposed to be in? Lava planets? I don't know. And like what I said, with the
in the middle of slavery, like we've had, I'm just saying. The prequel series that's what that was, when you got Anakin, another child actor that had to deal with a lot of stuff blowback from it. So I'm just, got to worry about that when it comes down to it. That's just
whose
reality.
Project is this? Who's helming it?
It's gonna be John Watts, the Spider-Man director guy.
Okay. I don't necessarily hate the timing. I mean, now obviously that was happier moments in Lucasfilm land was season 1 of Mandalorian. So that at least sets us up time frame wise for something that can't be, I don't want to use the word tainted, but it seems the most accurate, tainted by, some of the other stuff that's going on in the greater Lucasfilm branding right now. And then also has a competent guy at the helm. Like I know I like John Watts's work. I don't know too much about the characters or even what's supposed to be happening. Yeah, I don't know anything about this, but just off of those two things alone, that it has someone who can create competent projects, number one. And then number two, the time frame of the project that's being set was kind of like, now are we going to get a Din Djarin appearance? It from the brief synopsis we just read, it doesn't really seem like that's where we're going. Like,
it's got to
greater
connect somewhere. I mean, because once again, Filoni and Favreau are overseeing some of this stuff, so it probably will have had connective tissue somewhere in the Star Wars throughout things. We'll see little, things coming up, popping up, and you're like, oh yeah, that
I don't
makes
know,
sense.
man. The synopsis almost made it feel like Star Wars Little Rascals or like Goonies or something like that,
He
which
pitched it
is not
as
terrible, but
Stranger Things in space is what he pitched.
see, I got that as well. So like, that's fine. But where does Din Djarin play into that? Like in season 1 of Mando, he's still a like hardened bounty hunter. He's working. Man doesn't have time to go babysit children. So like, it's just I hope they don't shoehorn it in just for the sake of saying, all right, well, let's validate it by having a character, kind of touch them, kind of make it important. Don't spend Din Djarin on that.
What
I
about
wouldn't want them to.
Grief Karga?
Ooh,
Because
That
this
could
was
work.
filmed a year ago. This was
Yeah.
filmed a year ago, and maybe they don't even need anyone to interact.
Wait, yeah, well, you said this is filmed a year ago, so Carl Weathers, obviously, that was fine.
This also could be happening at this time because the kids will age, and when a kid ages, it's much more noticeable than like Pedro Pascal. We had
Mhm.
2 years in between season 1 and season 2 and season 3, but we didn't even notice it because of when you're older, your age doesn't really show that much. Let's keep reading. It says it's a fun place to be, the universe of Star Wars, he adds with a smile. And there are great references to old films and recent episodes and series. There's a lot of originality, and I hope that will bring the feeling of fun to those who watch it. The next image we're going to look at, again, here's the Max Rebo little creature, looking good.
That looks better. That looks better.
Yeah. Let's get the words smaller now. No, it doesn't. Anyways, there's a girl, little skeleton crew member. There's this dude with the hair again. When there's another one up top, I can't see exactly, but there's 4 kids.
Looking like Jordy. Huh.
Mm-hmm.
With the eyes.
Dude with the hair. I want to ask this politely. What's because Jude Law is the star of the show, but what is the ethnicity of this boy here?
Can't tell from right here. I mean, he's got some curly hair, but that's about all I can see from this angle.
You'd think what, South American maybe?
Yeah, and his skin does look a little darker than the pink flesh of the others.
Which,
maybe
would still work with Central American, because the
Are we saying that he's going to be some kind of kin to Jude Law's character? Is that what you're trying to go for? Or?
No, I was more so representation wise. I do like to see, but because these are kids, they'll be in Star Wars for a long time as adults in the future, and so if we're gonna spawn off these characters as children, and let's have a black character up in there, that would be amazing for the long term. Especially
watch him be a clone kid.
Be a clone.
All this stuff, it's probably gonna be a clone kid.
Tamora Morrison's clone Jedi version,
right? Yeah.
It is what it is. Let's keep reading. I think there was a couple more pictures in here. And it says, in Star Wars Skeleton Crew, Jude Law tells people that he and his younger cast members are all in constant state of confusion and jeopardy and challenge. That sounds fun. He adds that this series is very much a piece about working together and overcoming fears and overcoming perhaps one's opinion of oneself or one's own weaknesses in order to succeed. I think he's a Jedi who kind of I escaped Order 66. I'm going to lay low. But then I see these other Jedi's kids or the Padawan potential kids.
Like some escaped Padawans as well.
And he's like, fine, I'll
you
take
gotta have that though. There are 3 things for a Star Wars project that if you you gotta have one of the 3. You gotta have lightsabers, right? Somewhere in there.
You have to have the Force somewhere.
Gotta have the Force somewhere in there. Somebody's got to be Force sensitive. And then it for me personally, it's always nice to have space travel involved in your journey and at some point in time, right? These seem like very young characters led by one older character, but
pause that for a second, Marcus. Darius, if you're trying to join, it just says devices not connected. Sorry, go ahead, Marcus.
For sure. I was gonna say that doesn't sound like a group that's very mobile, very get up and go type of situation. So that X's one of the things out. If
Mhm.
Jude Law is not a
Jedi.
Jedi, it kind of X's the other two out, even if the rest of the group is Padawans. Well, I guess you have force sensitivity, but who's going to teach them to hone it? Who's gonna bring them along? I can't handle any more Star Wars Mary Sue's.
I mean, they
Let's
could
start
always
doing
do
this right.
Ahsoka. Just saying, like Ahsoka, because remember the timeline.
Okay,
Remember she
I
went,
like that.
she
But then where are
actually
they at
Luke.
now, though?
Luke is
Where are
still
they at
around.
now?
Yeah.
We ain't see her. We didn't see them. We haven't had no mention of them. If she did how somehow run
Yeah.
into these kids and they meant some significance, then it's like, well, then where were they at during your show?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Or even when we seen you in Mando season 2.
Or they say the outer realm, so you don't have to worry about it.
Okay.
There's so much in the outer realm that you can kind of do, you can play with. So it doesn't have
That's
to make
true.
sense. But it sounds very bad batch-ish.
Like a
Darius, if
live
you're
action
joining-
Bad Batch.
That's what it
Darius.
sounds like.
Darius, if you're joining on your phone, you got to allow permissions for the camera and allow permissions for microphone on your browser, if that's what you're doing. But I did send you the link on Twitter DMs.
See.
Sorry.
But no, it sounds bad batch and that ish. And that's why I'm like, okay, a live action Bad Batch wouldn't be, even something that kind of meshed with it. So maybe we get an Omega shout out. That might be cool. You have a chance now, even though Kathleen Kennedy threw back Grogu, maybe you have a chance that Grogu fits in somewhere season 2, season 3, or we get a time jump in something like that. So there are opportunities to make things work so that the Skeleton Crew thing fits in with the great movie for Filoni and Favreau. Just saying.
Does it have to be a lead up to be successful to the movie? Like, does it have to lead directly into the Filoni Favreau film to be successful?
I think it does.
Because if it does, then they have to see Thrawn at some point, right? Because that's the pending jeopardy that they're all facing. Maybe he has some sort of connection to Thrawn for some reason or another.
I think you get season 2 or 3. You
This happened in season 1. Yeah, you got time. Yeah. This is still season 1, Amanda. Okay, yeah. You got long run up. But then, how do we bridge that gap? Is there going to be a time jump by the end of the season? It would almost have to be at least 2 years, because, or how much time did they say is passed? I don't think that much time has passed.
They're never committing. They've never committed to any time. They won't, because that would lock them down. They don't even want to tell you how long Grogu was chilling with Luke for.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, do we have a definite time how long all of this has been? It feels like a couple years, but then narratively it could be like 6 months.
Yeah, it'd be 1 year total.
1 year total the whole time. I think I heard Favreau trying to soften the blow, the reaction from the Boba Fett episodes, and be like, well, not that much time has really passed in between when Luke came and got Grogu and he came back to Din Djarin. Maybe he was like, first he was like 8 months, and he was like sometime less than a year. I was like, okay, fam, do you know? Do you know?
We haven't talked to you that. That's what it is.
He wasn't in charge of that decision. That Book of Boba Fett thing, that was an amendment from Kathleen Palpatine. And since he knows she's around, he doesn't want to commit to anything, because he's gonna have to bend and mold his story around her for the rest of the time.
Unfortunately,
he can't. And she's still got a year left on her contract. She'll be gone in December unless they re-up. They re-up for another contract extension.
Because people are afraid to take the job. No one wants to take that job anymore. She's done really good marketing. They've sold a lot of toys. They've sold a lot of action figures. They sell those things. And I think Star Wars sells itself, but she's a marketing person. That's just what she does. So she's done well with that. The idea that she's ruined some of the stuff that Filoni wanted to do and Favreau wanted to do with Mandalorian takes me back. It makes me worry.
Hello, Darius.
And even some of that armor she's lost. Like the merchandising isn't necessarily where it was before.
Hello, Darius. Maybe he's not good. Should I pull you down?
Nope.
No, can't hear you.
No.
Nope.
It's probably allow permissions type thing.
Microphone allowed.
Can one of us do it? I know I'm not going to be the one, but I just maybe suggest.
I think it might be him.
Next.
I'm removing his other. Anyways, yeah, man. Let's keep reading. It says, series creators John Watts and Christopher Ford share the same sentiments and open up the tight-knit bond Law formed with the kids on set. Because he's with all the kids all the time, he's also kind of felt like the co-director, co-producer with us, and he's co-acting coach. Giving the kids tips, and they would look to him. He really became sort of a mentor figure to the kids as well, Watts recalls and Ford adds. And he didn't have to do that. He just did that because it was a nice and it would make things work great. Cool. We want mentorship. We know he's offering his time and he's being very gracious. That's what I'm talking about.
The elephant alien is throwing me off, man. It's killing me. It's like, whoa, it's very, very there. But you know what? As long as they do me the solid of mixing in some practical prosthetics for that character, and it's not just all CGI, they'll have a fan in me, because that's some of the stuff that I really love from like the older Star Wars films. Is I know a lot of people don't like the puppeteers and all that other stuff, but I kind of like that stuff. I like when it looked real, like it looked like you can touch it and it wasn't just like floating on screen.
Yeah. I mean, wasn't that the idea? The thing that kind of draws you in Star Wars is having the different aliens, the different looks of everybody. And when it actually looks like someone there, you can tell the difference in CGI and not seeing someone actually in a suit.
Yep.
I don't necessarily need puppeteers, but someone acting in there looks good.
Yeah.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sorry about that. I'm gonna be home in a minute, but I just want to jump in because I heard y'all talking about this terrible ass shit. This is dead on arrival. This is never gonna work. I'm so sorry. Ever since what they've done with Acolyte, anything that Lucasfilm presents under Disney is gonna fail. I can promise you that. Anything that Lucasfilm presents under Disney after Acolyte is going to fail. The Acolyte was an absolute joke. Leslie Headland has come out in interviews and said that Plagueis trained the Stranger, which is
So
they have completely. No, you had it right, Marcus, when you said tainted earlier. They have completely tainted this franchise. So this is dead on arrival. No one gives a fuck about these kids. No one cares if it's happening at the same time of Mando or anything.
Damn, fuck them kids.
Fuck them kids. And I hope Thrawn, while he's in the Chimera, blast their shit.
I want to like it. I'm open to it. I don't view Disney under the Disney umbrella, therefore it must be bad. No, I don't think that way. Disney, they're fine. But who is Disney? Like, Disney is Bob Iger's own company, and we've had great seasons of Mandalorian. We've also had terrible stuff too. We've had good Bad Batch episodes. We've had terrible stuff too. How did it begin? Did they get Harvey Weinstein's
chill? I love your chill attitude towards Disney under Lucasfilm, but Disney under Lucasfilm has been an abysmal fucking disaster. Even if you do sprinkle in the few good episodes of a Bad Batch, and if you sprinkle in the 2 good seasons of The Mandalorian,
Rogue One, Clone Wars season 7.
Rogue One, Rebels wasn't under Disney.
It was.
That was, you're right, because that was on Disney XD. Rogue One, though, is the only thing theatrically that they have done that is phenomenal.
That is also true.
There is nothing else. And that's the thing about Star Wars. Star Wars is it should be viewed, honestly, in theaters. And that's the only thing you've done, and that was, what, 2016? No.
You don't feel better about Filoni and Favreau being more part of this stuff?
You know, once upon a time, as an ignorant Star Wars fan, I did. I was very happy about Filoni because I love Filoni. I was like, he is honestly the next best thing to George Lucas. But even in the minuscule position that they put him in, talking about he's overseeing this, if he's overseeing this. Yeah, because if he oversaw Acolyte, then no, I don't feel confident about it.
Well,
they don't have the wheel. They have the title, but they're not empowered to do the work they need to do to turn the ship around, right? Like ultimately, if you steer the direction too far from where not Leslie, Kathleen would like it to be, well, she's kind of the juggernaut, right? Like the buck stops with her. If you're going against what she wants, then you're probably not swimming with the current. You're swimming against current. So like having the title without the bite behind it, without the gravitas behind it, really means nothing. Because again, like Darius said, if Dave Filoni sat up there and approved all the stuff, the Plagueis stuff,
but he didn't. We know that
he didn't. It doesn't align with his promotion.
Yeah, it had nothing to do. He's only doing what he has been doing, like his story. The stuff is going up for his movie.
He's the creative director of Lucasfilm.
He doesn't mean he does everything in creative. Some of the stuff has already come out. And Kathleen Kennedy is the one who puts.
But we know the Acolyte wasn't done though before he got that title. Like there was enough time for you to be like, hold on, wait. Keep all the Osha May stuff, the witches.
You're not going to waste $200 million.
Okay. No matter what you do. Not put Plagueis. It was 5 seconds as it was. Do not put Plagueis in the show. Do not put Kahani Moody in the show. Don't put either one of them in the show. You probably cut 10 seconds total, and you save yourself a lot of heartache. So if he was really looking at this and was like, you know what? All right, you got it, Leslie. Do your thing.
I don't think he had anything to do with the show. I think that the show was already being done and produced by someone else. He was overseeing, but he wasn't overseeing. He probably saw the shows as they were done, but he's not going to waste any more money because he's really focused on his Star Wars content.
And the worse the other Star Wars, the better that his is going to look.
Well, there's an interview. There's an interview out because he did get asked about the Acolyte, and Star Wars Theory has been shitting, as rightfully so he should be, shitting on the Acolyte. And he pulled up that interview where Dave knew what the fuck was going on, and there were things that he said he had conversations with Leslie about. And I'm wondering if he and Leslie had the conversation that Plagueis trained the stranger, because if so, I do not now trust Dave. Why are you approving bullshit ass stuff like that? That goes completely against canon.
Stuff that doesn't make sense. Like the dude, what's his hold on, wait, give me his name back again. Plagueis, right? Mm-hmm. He was supposed to have had like 7 trial runs or 7 like apprentices that he was going to have, but then landed on Palpatine and killed the rest. So there's wiggle room, I guess, to kind of bring it full circle if Quimir and Osha and May are all like slaughtered by the end of this show. Somehow that just doesn't feel like that's where we're going though.
Or you make Quimir with Ren, like he's the one that built that up. Like he went off and did his own thing, like
right.
Which makes sense with what he does and the way he looks. So you can still do. Look, they just did a shitty job when writing stuff for Acolyte. They did a terrible job, and it didn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense in the Star Wars story that Favreau and Filoni have done. So I feel like they're in the point where they're looking at it is like, well, you're doing this. I'm going to try to save it on my stuff. I'm not going to try to save all Star Wars, because if I do that, guess who gets to stay? Kathleen Kennedy. So why would I go ahead and put my foot back there? You know, like I'm not going to.
Yeah, don't think so. I'm gonna address the Flash comment. I am absolutely blaming James Gunn for the Flash. You know why? Because James Gunn was even in a more position of power at that point. He's the head of the studio. So if anybody has the weight to say, is this worth putting on the silver screen at all? Is this worth the amount of money it's going to cost to put into theaters nationwide? And considering it was on track to be the worst superhero film ever produced until the Marvels came along this past fall, then at a certain point, again, if it's your decision to print it and say, go ahead and do it, and it gets out, who else am I to blame? Who else? If we're going to continuously kick the buck up and be like, all right, well, it wasn't. We can't leave it at the director. We can't leave it at the lead actors. We can't leave it at any of the producers involved. At what point does the studio head actually take responsibility for some of the?
He's not responsible for that studio.
We talking about James Gunn right now, though.
Yeah,
we're talking about James
exactly.
Gunn.
He's not responsible. So the new DC The new DC stuff.
Then don't
he's
put it out. If it's
responsible
that
for.
terrible, he watched that
other
movie
stuff-
just like we did.
But he's
months
not going to tell you
before we
guys,
did.
hey, I know you dumped all this money into this movie. I don't want you to
He
do
sat
anything.
around
He
while they
already
did
said
that, girl.
So he came out in the beginning of the year and said none of this stuff makes canon. It's canon. He probably watched it, said, I really don't like this. I can't tell you not to put it out, but I'm gonna tell you it has nothing to do with me. I'm putting my hands up
about what was canon and what wasn't, right? Because at first Aquaman was going to be canon, and Flash was supposed to start off the new era of DC once upon a time when he was doing his video.
He watched it. He was like, oh, fuck that.
Okay, so again, where we started was Flash is going to kick off my new universe.
No, wrong.
Where we
Marcus,
ended up
watch the video again.
That now it's going to be Blue. Then they said it was Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle is also canon.
He said the
then
character might stay, but this doesn't start my story.
He said he'd keep the character. He always was like apprehensive before the movies come out to call them not canon. He knew there was going to be a complete DCU reboot.
His very first statement or whatever he put up, where he had the red background and he announced on Twitter, he did not say that Blue Beetle wasn't canon. He did not say that Aquaman was not canon. He didn't use those words. We can pull the video up. He did not use those words. They are not canon.
Yes, you're right.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay.
I think the reason he didn't do that,
he should have absolutely. So if you weren't,
it had yet to come out. With them yet to come out, why tell your audience this is inconsequential to the rest of what we're doing?
Then you're hedging. At that point, you kind of deserve the losses that you get if you're going to hedge that way. Make a decision, man.
Yeah, he should have waited.
That has nothing to do with me.
Don't wait for the reaction and then either stand with it or deny it. You are actively making the work.
He did a Drake tailor-made freestyle. He did a Drake diss track release. He did the let's see if before I claim it, do people
basically but before I come out here and say that this is actually my work, let me see if y'all like it or not.
It's exactly like Drake.
I don't respect that.
It's exactly like Drake because someone else wrote it and then you got to decide if you want to claim it or not. I'm just saying. You battling 10 different dudes or writing stuff. So I mean it is the same thing.
I like that.
Oh man.
He had the power to dead that movie. There's no amount of convincing you can do to me that makes me believe that Batwoman or Batgirl was a worse movie than what we've seen from Ezra Miller and he couldn't make a Michael Keaton appearance work. A Michael Keaton Batman appearance work. Like
I just think that Warner Brothers probably said like we're not losing $600 million. You already lost $90 million in this Batgirl. You're not going to lose us another. They already dumped $200 million into that
to see how bad Batgirl was. I want to line it up. I want to see it because I mean, look at what we got. We got Aquaman. We got Blue Beetle, which I was really hoping was going to be good. And then you got
they stopped putting money into it.
Flash. Yeah, they did. Yeah,
and so like the things that they would have cut
itself was a decision. That was a decision to stop.
We're going to cut our losses and we're going to try to make as much money off this crap. And then James Gunn said, "Hey guys, then this is crap." And then he basically told everybody before it came out, and then they made less money. But you wanted him to say even earlier. He probably didn't want. They didn't want him to say it at all. They wanted him to wait until the movies came out. And he said,
all I'm saying is that seeing as how the movies didn't make any money as it was because of overspending, because of lack of oversight. When do you cut bait? When do you go? Like they decided to do it on Batgirl. They decided to say, "Nah, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna lose this money." But with the Flash, how bad of a movie could you get? How worse of a movie could you get than the Flash?
I think you get a lot worse movie.
Oh man,
you could not have Michael Keaton. You could have.
Yeah, I mean, there was the star power.
No CGI.
They had J.K. Simmons. That J.K. Simmons reprising his role as or not reprising his role, but as a Gordon, as Commissioner Gordon, that maybe would have brought some eyeballs. I don't know who all else. Who's the villain in that movie?
No one knows because no one knows it's not strong enough title to make a whole movie about. So that's what they should have figured out first. And that's someone probably looked at the movie and said, "This is a terrible title. This is not strong enough writing."
Yeah.
And then you want us to dump more. If $90 million means they didn't put any CGI in. That means they didn't even finish the movie part.
It was doomed from inception, just like let's redirect from flashback to Star Wars. Just like the Acolyte was doomed from inception, whether or not Dave Filoni got to filter through the pages or Pablo Hidalgo, who was the next topic, by the way. But I want to read everything He's like a rusty old cranky droid that sort of reluctantly helps the kids along the way, he says with a laugh, noting how fun and absolutely perfect Frost's contributions are. Nick Frost is the director, I guess. Or he's the name of the droid. Never mind.
Gotcha.
You got the kids on these speeders. Okay. These are the city environments that they're going to be on, that they're not supposed to be on. And Jude Law, we spent way too much on this topic, and I'm done. If you want to read it, go to People. The next topic is of Pablo Hidalgo over on Twitter. You guys know Drunk 3PO?
I've heard of him.
Yeah.
Where am I? So on Twitter, Gina Carano is a friend of Drunk 3PO, the YouTuber.
Yeah.
Gina Carano is suing Disney, or Lucasfilm rather, and it looks like this is going to go through. They took it to the judge. He says, yes, there's merit here. We'll go forward with this case. It won't be dismissed. So who's going to be testifying? Kathleen Kennedy. Her issue, Gina's issue, is multiple. One of them, pronouns. I put beep bop boop on my Twitter account. They viewed this as hate speech, and she's gonna be able. I think she'll be easily able to provide like, listen, all I did was put 3 freaking words that are not really words on my account. I wasn't trying to do hate speech, but that they made her do meetings with I think it's called GLAAD, but one of those groups that are empowering
gay,
for
lesbian, and
So she went through all this training, sensitivity, everything, and then the last thing that she did was she posted something with what happened in Germany in the 40s, and she posted something related to that. To me, nothing extreme there. It's a lesson. Hey, let's not get to dehumanizing people. But then she wanted to involve her political party, which everyone says do stupid things for their political party. It wasn't hateful, not in my view. But here she is now with the lawsuit against Elon Musk is funding her. So this will go to court. This will not be settled for some price. This is about freedom. And this is about what, Marcus? What does she want to do? What does she want to win?
She wants to work for Disney again,
She's going to win her job back after this.
She thinks after dragging Disney into court, right, and forcing them to kind of air their dirty laundry on the national stage, that they're going to rehire her, or that a judge is going to force them to rehire her.
I mean, it worked for Scarlett Johansson. Just saying.
It didn't. That just made them pay
She's
her.
Going to be directing.
She already did.
No, she's going to be directing new stuff from Marvel. She's coming back in bed with Disney again and Marvel again.
Right. But I mean, a judge didn't literally order Marvel to rehire Scarlett Johansson. Like, this is craziness. And honestly, on the other side, unless she's been compelled to do so, if you're Kathleen Kennedy, why on God's green earth would you ever get up on stage to testify in this case? Unless she was compelled to do so.
Did she also ask Pedro Pascal to come through too?
Yeah. Oh no, I think she's good with Pedro Pascal. They're actually.
I think she asked him to come and testify. Too. Yeah.
Here's the tweet from Jonas J. Campbell. He's got a YouTube channel called Culture Casino, I think it is. Am I wrong? Yeah, it is that. So this guy, or that Park Place, my mistake. Here's the list of people or entities that Gina has called on to testify. Yep. Gina Carano. What's UTA? What's that?
Who knows?
IDPR, I guess public relations. John Favreau, Pedro Pascal, Palpatine, Bob Chapek.
That's what I saw. And Bear Grylls was crazy too. I saw all those names. That's why I was like, what?
Can she compel these people to actually testify, or can they tell her to fuck off?
I don't know. I think you have to. Disney says that they don't agree with the list, but they're adding Carrie Beck. And I know her name from Star Wars. She's always in the credits of whenever something happens. And the other name. Now, the interesting thing is that underneath here, someone's going to bring up Pablo Hidalgo. Where are we at? My bad. Hold up. Stay patient with me here.
No Pablo Hidalgo.
Yeah, this guy says no Pablo Hidalgo. I'd expect him to be close to the top. And Pablo Hidalgo's alternate account says, I don't suppose I can ask why. Bro, this is a lawsuit. You were not mentioned. Do not involve yourself.
Yeah, man, where are you coming from on this random ass tweet?
And
Or not so random, but random enough for you to be popping onto.
he wasn't tagged. He wasn't tagged, bro. So here we go. Jay, drunk 3PO says, question, are you, by the way, I canceled Pablo Hidalgo. That's why his tweets are muted. So I got to unmute him. It says, question, are you not the one who leaked this story that Gina was fired to the media? Lots of rumors out there. Just want to get it on the record. All right. So there's the fishing hook. Okay.
Yep.
We all see it. Question. I'm going to ask you guys. I'm going to ask you this question. And you're friends with, this guy's big friends with Gina Carano. And he says, nope. I heard about it online like most people.
Oh man.
Why? Why did he F up, Brian? Tell us why he effed up.
Oh, he's just opening. He's saying first of all, he's lying. So like,
yeah, I was about to say that's bullshit.
But he's opening himself up for everything else. So if anyone has any other content out there or anything of him saying this stuff, he's ruining everyone's case because he's lying to everybody, right in front of everybody, and that could be brought up in this case too. So you never can anyone she brings. That's why she probably didn't put him on the list. He's already gonna lie. I can't do anything when he can ruin my case, so I'm not gonna bring you in.
Listen. When you say that she's fired, and maybe the company policy is actually she was finished and expired her contract.
Yep.
And there was no relationship, because that's what they said in the statement. The statement is Gina Carano was not under contract with Lucasfilm. We have no plans for her to be on contract. With legally, you can do that. You can easily make someone not rehire. But for him to admit she was fired, for him to admit that there was a termination of an agreed employment, at least, his dumbass just confirmed it. Because what Drunk 3PO asked was she fired? He says, yes, he used the word it's, which in English we all know.
About it. I heard about it.
I heard about it online like most people. Sucker fell for the trap. He was tweeting just earlier today. Actually, I can find that easily. Go to replies. He was saying something else. Where is he at? Okay, this is making for bad YouTube, but he was still talking about it just before. WDW Pro said Pablo had been free for years to specify what he does. For some reason, it's always given in riddle because it's not important.
What?
Nobody is tagging you. Pablo Hidalgo is searching for people who were just typing his name.
Why is he doing this?
And not even that, but like I know I followed Pro and that Park Place for a little bit, and they are they're very far up Lucasfilm's butt in terms of scoops and things of that nature. So it is extra funny that this man is actually dialoguing with the scoopers from his former employer. It's crazy.
I think Pablo Hidalgo is ensuring his employment because there's no way you get rid of this guy now so that he can sing like that. He probably knows.
Or he has all the skeletons, like as you're about to say. He has all the skeletons. He knows where all the skeletons are buried. He's about to like, you better not. You gotta keep filming.
Hey Brian, from the Spoiler Kings YouTube channel, what do you guys do on Thursday nights after we're done our stream? What are you guys usually doing over there?
Well, tonight we're going to be talking about all things nerdy, but I'm going to really get on Cobra Kai because I figured might as well talk about this first little part one. I thought it was really cool. There's some emotional things, so I want to talk about those things. And then, of course, we're going to talk about House of the Dragon. So that finale is coming up on Sunday because what they've been doing has been amazing. But I'm going to focus on Supercell, because I've been waiting to talk about Supercell for such a long time, and finally my boy Tank in here, so I'm going to put Supercell out there right in front of everybody. We're going to talk about that and give it its flowers. And I have some other issues that kind of has nothing to do with them, but has to do with us not producing something to that same point. Why don't we have enough money to produce some of this stuff that they've done?
Or do the Robert Downey thing, get money on the back end. Everyone needs to sacrifice a little bit, go in there, do the project for free. Just know that you'll get money on the back end. And until that day, man, it doesn't matter if Tyler Perry exists or 50 Cent exists and everyone else. No one's sacrificing, and I don't respect that. Hey, check out his channel. It's in the link right there. If you haven't heard of Spoiler Kings before, they're active. And last words, Brian?
Hey man, I love watching you guys. I always give Chill his props because I can tell he's the godfather of all this stuff. So he brought us on and kind of brought
I'm
us
the
the whole thing
collaborator.
together.
That's what you
So
mean by
that's what he is.
godfather. You can't give me that much credit. I collaborate with many people. Say it like that. Like that's what you
All
mean when
right,
you
he
say it.
collaborates with everybody. So that's another good thing because it keeps the community tight and you get to hear everyone's information and it pro- lets everyone know who they are. It gives everyone a platform and allows us to have a platform, and then we can affect things that are going on. So my last thing I'm gonna say is recast T'Challa, and I'm out.
Hey, about that Supercell show, your
What?
cohorts, your big homie, the older guy, Josh. I
Mm-hmm.
invited him to do a Supercell review also, and I think we're gonna schedule that. When would be a good time for us to do that? When do you that you could join also?
Let's talk offline about it. I gotta
Okay.
figure some stuff out.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I'll definitely be down. I really enjoyed the show. It was a kind of a breath of fresh air, man. It was good. I liked it.
And I'm ready to talk spoilers and everything. It's been a good month. If you haven't seen it,
Oh,
you
yeah.
weren't gonna see it, or you don't deserve the chance of it being spoiled anymore. Maybe the spoilers will make you watch the show. I think it's a good time to chat about all 6 episodes, thoroughly.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. We can get into it.
Even when it comes to Deadpool and Wolverine, you guys were being because Josh hadn't seen it on the weekend.
He hasn't seen it. Yeah, he hasn't seen it.
I think that once we're here, bro, too late. Like it's even Planet Fanatics. I was watching these guys streaming yesterday on this channel, and they were like, "Oh, should we say it or not? It's a spoiler." I'm like, listen, if you're in these YouTube spaces where fandom is like, we've probably seen it by Thursday and Friday. It's too late.
Yeah, I mean, I do. I get that, right? If you're out here perusing the internet, especially if you clicked on the video after reading the title, it just kind of is what it is. But at the same time, I do think that there used to be a certain etiquette to the way we handled reviews, like in the immediate aftermath of the movie. Like, I wanted to go see it at the early previews Thursday night. So I'm definitely not expecting to see. I'm expecting to see like out of theater stuff, right? Out of theater reactions and stuff like that. Definitely not expecting to see people talking plot on reviews that come out that night or even the Friday morning after, because you got to think 90% of the viewing audience that's going to see it on the opening weekend is probably going to see it Friday night through Saturday, Sunday, all the way up until Sunday evening, right?
More than 90.
Prime time. But yeah, it's very high. Most people are not, sitting around until 9, 10, and sometimes even midnight to watch the premieres. So like you kind of get ahead of everybody knowing that you're doing, and it's like, okay, well, you got the information. When's the best time to release it? Like if I'm still going to go see the movie, not only do I not want to hear it before I go see it, but am I even going to be looking for the information that soon to me going to go see the movie? So it also becomes like a numbers game. When's the best time to release that kind of stuff?
And on YouTube, your impressions click-through rate is important. How many times has your thumbnails been clicked on? Well, I may be a huge fan of Deadpool Wolverine. I just haven't seen it on Thursday. Why would you drop your video on your Easter egg breakdown cameos review?
Yeah.
On
And
Thursday?
you do see people because you're thirsty and you're trying to beat everybody to the punch. You want to be at the front of the line when people look at it Friday morning. It's a double-edged sword because that can end up tanking your video. So
Unless you're new rock stars and Screen Crush, if you're those
then
two,
YouTube
you're the
just
go-to.
crushes you based off of your name. Yeah.
Exactly. And we're not that.
Yup.
Yet Pantheon's coming. The next topic here. So we did Gina Disney drama. We kind of closed the whole Skeleton Crew stuff. I want to wait for Darius to get here before we do the Major's Heartbroken thing. Caped Crusader, the new Batman animated series. They went X-Men 97 mode and they said, let's use some nostalgia to give you guys something that you are familiar with. We will be honoring it. It seems to be getting good reviews. In the live chat right now, let us know on a scale of 1 to 10, what did you think of Batman Caped Crusader? That's on Amazon Prime. Chill has not watched it yet. I thought you would have watched it. I thought Darius would have watched it and it would be a topic, but it's not. So, damn, we'll close this topic.
No. We can still talk about it. Because I mean, first of all, I didn't envision that after James Gunn got his hands on the greater DC universe that they would continue to solicit their animation content like that. I think it kind of speaks to the health of where their own streaming platform is right now, that they wouldn't, bogart that for themselves to release on Max, that they probably need the extra exposure, the cross-pollination of the two platforms to be over there on Max, in hopes that they want more Batman contact and they'll start watching Max. So that was one thing that was really surprising. Number two, right? This is a new Batman project without Kevin Conroy. Right, like this is our hopes and dreams in action. This is what we want in action, in practice. So let's see how people react to their age-old hero with a different voice. Let's see if they revolt. Let's see if they attack the voice actor. Let's see if they drag him through the streets, all up and down the streets of Twitter. Let's see if that happens. Because I have a sneaky suspicion that nobody's going to give a shit. R.I.P. to Kevin Conroy.
Right.
But no one's gonna give a shit, and as long as he looks like Batman, talks like Batman, does Batman things, we're gonna be okay.
Recasting is totally okay. It's always been accepted. Recasting is the norm. We don't attach actors to characters, as shown by Robert Downey Jr., who's going to be playing Doctor Doom.
Oh man, wait till we get to that news.
Is it out now? It is out now. He just watched it yesterday. It's a good show. I didn't even know it was out. Shit, my bad. Maybe
how many episodes?
All 10?
10.
Someone will say so. The clips of this show are great. It reminds me of Batman animated series. Is Mark Hamill in it? Is the Joker in it, or is the masked guy in it? And we don't
know because wasn't he was supposed to be retiring from doing that voice too? Wasn't
yeah,
he?
He said that's my Batman. So if as long as Henry, as long
Conroy.
as Kevin Conroy isn't doing it, then I'm not doing it either. And he was saying that when he was alive.
Yeah. So probably not. Probably not Hamill.
The Batman from WB had a different voice actor. What do you know?
The Batman. Oh, it came out that was the cartoon. It came out like 2013, 2012, somewhere around there.
Before 2012, but that was about it.
I know,
and the Teen Titans had Robin, so they couldn't use Robin. They introduced Batgirl before they introduced Robin in that show.
Odd. Mini Robins. That's very odd.
Hamish Linklater delivers an excellent voice-over performance for Batman. There it is, Hamish.
Okay, I'd have to disagree that the voice actor for the animated series never mattered. I think Kevin Conroy was a pretty beloved character for Batman fans, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm overpressing the issue there.
I think it's telling though that they shared it with Amazon Prime instead of giving it to Max. That's something. And when was it in development? Was it before James Gunn took over? Because the Batman movie that they had still hasn't come out yet. But that was signed and agreed on. The sequel was agreed to happen with Robert Pattinson before James Gunn. So they're kind of stuck with that movie. This might have been one of those things also in development and already agreed to. But for them to give it to Amazon Prime, it shows you like the mindset isn't what it used to be. We don't care anymore about HBO Max being the home of exclusive content. We own it because it's a DC property. So it's Warner Brothers has it. You guys can make money off of it now. You license it for a few millions. All of a sudden it'll be back at HBO Max where it's supposed to be at its home eventually when the time expires. Just like Netflix shows have Daredevil, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, it will expire and Disney will own it again. Or will own it for the first time, but they'll be on their streaming service. They've stepped away from own our own stuff and be the home and be the hub. Now it's
big time, because they fell flat on their face. The creators of content are going back to focusing on creating content. See, they spread themselves so thin with now trying to be the creators and also the sellers. They wanted to be the distributors and the creators at the same time, where that relationship had never existed in Hollywood before. They thought that they were just going to cut the theaters out. The theaters would die and everybody would just start watching their films at home. And that's not how it worked out. So now they're doing what they've always done, which is gang up together, be in a package, go get a package deal, right? Like we're not that far away from them probably renegotiating with some of these linear providers, because That's already what they're doing with their competitors as it is, right? And all of them, save Netflix, probably the only one
not
that can
Netflix.
survive by themselves. Yeah.
Oh, clearly they're the only
Everyone
ones that can
else,
survive on themselves.
yeah, everyone else is in need of help, and that's why you're watching competitors share content.
Not Netflix. They've got an exorbitant market share.
Oh, no one collects more of its competitors' content than Netflix.
They're the home base. They're the familiar one. They're the go-to. They are streaming.
They've been doing it
They're-
the longest, and they
they're the-
didn't try to fuck over theaters to do it either. In fact, they've been moving closer, further and further to having a positive relationship with theaters because now their movies are releasing on the silver screen simultaneously with their streaming services, and it's not hurting them a bit. Where everybody else, where Zaslav and Chapek and then Iger and everybody else, Paramount and Universal, all thought, no, we're going to squeeze what's left of these theaters. We want to take COVID and use it as an opportunity to squeeze every last bit that we can out of these theaters and then leave them in the dust. And that didn't happen. People naturally, and not because of some social cause or anything like that, people naturally rejected the idea of watching blockbuster films on their home TVs. They just did. Where everybody and their mom was trying to convince you that the cable age and going to see your movies in theaters was a begotten age. It's old. We're moving to streaming now. Everything's streaming. They've been telling you that for half a decade, and we're still not there. And it's because the consumer rejected it. I mean, there's a lot more than that. There was, problems with production in terms of creating the films and, inflation, being able to afford any of these damn streaming services, keep them in your house. Like, there's a lot of other factors that play into that. But by and large, the consumer rejected the idea of taking their most coveted content, which is what comes on the silver screen, and putting it on the home screen.
There was a scare for Netflix's growth where they had the first ever reported decrease in a quarter of subscribers, and that was sometime here. It was in 2023, I think it was, or I'm wrong. It was between 2021 and 2022.
I remember that. Yeah. They were
that was when
struggling
the
with it.
password sharing stuff came, and they were more like, let's
The
fix
pre-Squid Game stuff, which I'm also convinced that did nothing. It did nothing to help them get their revenues back up.
Right, because what I noticed is that this is a company that didn't exist. They kind of blew up around 2010s.
Mhm.
They kind of blew up there, and it became something
Well,
that
to what we know now, yeah, they were small time shipping out DVDs before.
doesn't count. This though, where it became the premier, like the channel, the home feed, that was 15 years ago is probably when that began.
Okay.
Young people subscribed. It wasn't like the 70-year-olds were subscribing to this new Netflix thing. The people, we got Planet Fanatics, Darius in the building. Hello.
Hello. Sorry,
There it
that shit took forever, longer than I thought.
I see you
I also started late. You said I'm using what?
Q's microphone because it's the sensitive hot one.
Oh, is it loud?
Yeah.
Let me turn it down in there.
Netflix though, they're kids, because they've got kids who have now grown up and now they have credit cards because they've been around and they've been hot for the last 15 years when they were on PS3. I remember PlayStation 3 was the hottest Netflix channel or platform. There we go. That's the word.
Yeah.
There, thank you. The platform of the most used was Netflix for net. You guys get my point. Regardless, though, kids are growing into it. The old generation who were never gonna buy Netflix, they're aging out of it and dying out, being replaced by new people. We haven't seen what the top of Netflix can reach. It's got 300 million or 260 million subscribers as of right now. That can go to 400 million. That could really, we have not seen the peak of Netflix. We have for Disney Plus. We've seen it. Disney Plus knows it. They started delaying their Star Wars and their Marvel shows. Like, hey, ease up on the production. These things aren't
You
profitable.
think they've already maxed out on their subscriber count?
Yes.
I see. It's so tough for me to say because they also haven't reached a point of consistent output for me. Like, it's been so sporadic. First of all, I think it was rushed to market as it was. And then on top of that, we've had such long hiatuses in between, like, even reasonable content that we can debate about whether or not it's crappy or good or or somewhere in between. We have such lulls in between releases for some type of conversation driven content, as opposed to Netflix. Every month there's something new to talk about on Netflix. Like close to every week if you're looking hard enough. But there's just not that much continuity within Disney. So then it becomes hard to say that they've already hit their peak, because we've never really seen them with a stacked roster and what that can produce for them in terms of subscribership. They've always had like one show at a time, maybe one show a season that's doing some sort of traffic, but it's never been, Black Mirror, Avatar, One Punch, you know what I mean? Nothing, Castlevania.
And Marcus, it never will be. They have kids shows that have that steady kind of every month there's a new thing, and that's the consistent, good old reliable Bluey, and there's shows like that exist. They've got a great library, so if you ever want to watch DuckTales, you got it. That's it. They like.
I'm surprised they don't lean into that more, the nostalgia push. Like, their catalog is so vast. Like, honestly, the Disney catalog, if you just line it up, everything from
Moana,
from Moana to Cars to Marvel, you know what I mean? Like, there's so much there. They don't lean on that. They don't like encourage people to go back and watch old content. And I understand why, because it's a dead end. There's nothing to sell when you go watch Aristocats for the 15th time. But
no, they'll make the live action Aristocats. Like Moana right now, it's huge on Disney Plus, so they're doing a sequel animated.
Well, but Moana's a little bit different from Aristocats. Moana came out this century. Yeah.
Okay.
So the little bit of variance. I'm talking about some of their older stuff that would still draw in past viewers of the Disney company, right? That you could still get them excited to come back and view remastered versions of certain titles. Break open that goddamn vault and start remastering some of these movies. That's an easy sell. And then if you put some of them in the theaters for those Fathom events, that's printing money. That's printing money. But again, they're overly obsessed with their new heroes, their new archetypes, the new stuff, like trying to make us take that. And then it's not coming fast enough either. Pause. It's not happening fast enough. They're not making shows quickly enough to kind of fill that space.
You don't want to pause that one?
Good shows. Pause.
When you said fill the space, I'm like, we're in pause mode. You probably.
Oh yeah, that works. That works. It's more of a that's what she said, but I'll take that one too.
Darius, after the Skeleton Crew conversation, we went to Gina Carano and her kind of her ongoing. She's gonna try to get Kathleen Kennedy to be a witness. We want to hear the inner workings of the company, and I can expect the reveals to be stuff like so you do emphasize the importance of this group instead of that group, and white men are the victim. I that's what I'm thinking is going to come out of that case, and I'm interested to see it. I'm interested to see that. You think there's any chance that Kathleen Kennedy takes the stand and we get the dirty laundry of Lucasfilm?
First, does my mic sound better?
Yeah.
Okay. She might, honestly, and to be honest, I think Kathleen looks at, I don't know if anybody saw that video that I saw it because Van Lathan has shared it on Twitter, of Kamala Harris at the airport, and that lady was really going at her and she wasn't giving her any attention. She was just smiling, still taking pictures with all the people that were asking, like this lady was in her face and all this kind of, yeah. I feel that is Kathleen with Gina. Kathleen doesn't give a fuck what Gina's got going on. I don't think she gives a damn about this court case. If she does show up, it's because
girl boss it.
She might.
Girl got you, Gina.
She might. I just feel like I don't know. Kathleen doesn't even care about Lucasfilm, let alone its actors and what they've got going on outside of the Lucasfilm umbrella. So I don't know. Probably not. Maybe she does. Maybe she doesn't.
She shouldn't get within 100 yards of this case. She should not. If she is not being subpoenaed to be there, if a judge is not ordering, and that goes for everybody on this list, but especially the head of Lucasfilm, If you are not being ordered to be there, you wish her good luck and you go on budget. You don't even wish her good luck. She's suing you to be rehired. So like,
But
no.
my thing with Gina is, why do you even want to go back? If I'm fired from a job, I would not want to go. It's not, the atmosphere is
My
different.
bro, just pay me.
Yeah.
Just pay me. You don't gotta hire me back in there. But I think Hollywood is different though, right? Like they literally, she's there to act. So in that, like she's expected to pretend like nothing's wrong. And then if they're gonna pay her expected salary, which she was, if we're to believe, the rumors of the former second arc of Mandalorian dealing with Gina Carano and all that stuff, well then I can see how then she could turn that into, well, they cheated me out of a payday by firing me. I can see that. Where the mistake I think she would make is doing what you're saying, Chill, is the, oh look guys, they hate white men over here. Woke this, woke that. How many times have you said woke? How many times is there
DEI Kathy? DEI Kathy.
Yeah, she doesn't have to do that. The thing that she has to prove is that they fired her because she said some stuff on Twitter and reposted some stuff, and that is not necessarily, it's not precluded by free speech, like it's protected speech. The bebop thing is not, while it may have offended some in your circle, is not enough to say that she was racially antagonistic or
no, it's pronouns, it's non-binary.
not racially, genderly antagonistic, orientationally.
No, gender.
Okay, cool, whatever. That you can't make a direct connection there, and that's really the messiness of this whole thing, is that they could have just left well enough alone. They probably should have paid her, made her go away, but kind of handling this in the way that they did is now, it's incumbent on you to put a reason on why you fired her. Now you have to explain it. We could have left all this vague and just let it float into the ether, but since we've gotten to this point, now you have to hammer home a reason. Now you have to explain in a court of law why you did this and make it make sense. And if it was, oh, she has a different political view than us, then you're going to end up paying her and she might end up working at Lucasfilm again.
Her friends or the staff that she worked with, Jon Favreau, they don't have any problems with her. Pedro Pascal, everyone's cool with her. It's just the administrative staff.
Yeah.
The executives. And Pablo Hidalgo, shout out to you for confirming that she was fired, that she was going to be in Rangers of the New Republic. Because I think the game plan over there at Lucasfilm was,
we just didn't renew her. We just didn't renew her.
We didn't renew her. Who said Rangers of the Republic was her show? You guys thought? No, we never said it. We never committed. There's no statement at all. And then here we go with Pablo. So it'll be easy to solve or to make the case. I think she's going to win this.
Be doing that with WD Pro and Drunk 3PL. Like, fam, if there's anybody on the internet you probably should not be interacting with in regards to Gina Carano and her legal battle, it's probably them. Like, just steer as far away from them as you possibly can. But that just lets you know how much these celebrities search their name on the internet for the loudest voices and against their whatever narrative they're pushing.
I've done it. I've done Chillmonger just to see what's happening. And there's a lot of people with the name. It's not that creative. I thought it was unique.
Really?
On Twitter,
more Chillmonger?
I have to spell Chillmonger with 2 R's because there's already someone who took it.
Dang. I didn't even
Fortnite. I tried to make my Fortnite name Chillmonger. There was already a Chillmonger.
If it makes you feel better, whenever I've searched you, I've never found anybody different. So,
yeah. What did you say, Darius?
I said likewise. I don't think I've ever seen anything else besides yours.
Put some respect on my name. Do you see Caped Crusader, the Batman show?
I didn't see it. I forgot today was the first, and it came out.
It all came out.
Yeah, the whole thing. I haven't watched it. I've seen obviously the stills and the trailers that are great. I like the animation. I did see where somebody said that the voice actor doesn't matter. That's wrong. A lot of people loved. Actually, he is regarded as the Batman. Honestly.
Kevin Conroy.
They put Kevin Conroy up there with even the live action portrayals.
That's what I was thinking. I didn't think I was too far off on that.
No, and I heard the whole thing about Mark Hamill too. Yeah, no, Mark said he's, as long as since Kevin has passed, he's done. His last thing was this the Crisis that they're doing. Did you see the scene where him and Kevin? It was Kevin's last performance of Batman in Crisis, and that was him and Mark Hamill's last performance of Joker and Batman. but I have not seen this. I am excited to see it because it looks great. The animation is great. I know they were talking about this at one point. I heard you guys talking about it being on Prime. At one point, it was supposed to be on HBO Max, and then all that messiness and Gunn took over because at first I thought this project was canceled. Then it came back to the table. So yeah, but I am excited to see it. I love anything Batman, honestly.
Pablo Hidalgo is still tweeting. He's got so much. So like, there's one guy who says to him, right here, he says, "And I don't work in studio or in this production. What do you think my role on this show is? Why would my name fit in with the others listed, which includes producers and cast? That's what I find bewildering, is the insistence that I'm part of this. I'm just curious where it's from. You must not be the Pablo, the creative director from the Mando show."
I'm like, what? Was your name not in the credits of the Mando show? Or am I tripping?
He said that's not my title or role. Each production comes with credits that identify people in key positions in an ascending order of significance. He's trying to say it's not significant. That can be ascertained by size, prominence, screen, length of display, and order of appearance. And
you are asking why people are associating you with this madness. Your name is on the show. It shouldn't be that much harder to understand beyond that.
Is this Pablo saying that he wasn't involved?
Yes, Pablo has a second account, and this is the second account. This one,
he's got to stop, because if you even go back to the days where was it season 2 Luke showed up? Yes, in season 2 when Luke showed up and Theory cried.
Yeah,
Pablo was the one that made fun of Theory. Pablo was the one even then that said that he was on the project. So this burner account where he's trying to backtrack, brother, we can pull up the Theory shit easy, because I mean, you pull up Theory's name, I feel like that's one of the first memes that pops up is him crying, and that is synonymous with Pablo. So I don't know what he's talking about. What is the point of having
a burner if you're going to identify yourself on it and talk to people as yourself?
Keep listening, because we're talking burners. This guy says, Pablo says, sorry, Drunk 3PO says, Pablo, you know good and well, you have picked fun at others, including Gina, and then deleting the post. Anyway, you answered my previous question, and I appreciate that. So that was Drunk 3PO. He was done. He was good. You people are such weird parasites. And 3PO says, the Pablo alternate accounts, LOL, do better. You're such a joke. I think that this is a Pablo alternate account, because Pablo, you've already proven that you search up your name and stuff, right? And if I go back, you're going to see now that then he quotes it. So the alternate account that was Drunk 3PO accused him of being Pablo, and he says, nothing makes me happier than being told I'm secretly Pablo Hidalgo. Bro, you're Pablo Hidalgo.
You're Pablo Hidalgo. Hey, I have a running theory that a lot of celebrities have these type of accounts, like not burner accounts, but like support accounts. Because it's always some weird icon that's not a real person or some shit that want to fight you over some random celebrity. I think sometimes it's the celebrities searching their names. And they just get in there and fight you.
On my phone, I have an account. It's not Chillmonger. It's just an alternate random account. I'm not going to say what it's called. But I watch my videos. I give myself a like. Why? Because that's another additional, it's an assist. It's helpful. I do that. So, of course, these celebrities are doing that. I got to take care of myself. Oh, Kevin Durant does it. We know he does.
Oh, Kevin Durant got caught multiple times. Yeah, we've been new about Kevin Durant.
Oh, yeah.
I suspect LeBron has a few thousand of them he can just plug into whenever he wants to.
Probably.
Elon Musk, definitely. Elon Musk bought the app so that he can curb his criticism. Trump for sure has a support account. It's Bigley. He's the biggest president we've ever had. He's the most winning. He wins all the time. Honestly, don't know how he could win anymore. What else is there left to win? Who else? She missed out on
Deadpool and Wolverine. Yeah, she wasn't. She was supposed to be in it.
Who?
Gina.
Are we being serious?
She was excluded.
Oh, she was the thing. Why would she have been back though? Why was she?
I saw an even better question on Twitter. Where the fuck was Domino? I thought Domino was going to be in this. I thought that was in the rumors and shit too. But where was she?
Where was Domino? Because she was alive and well at the end of Deadpool 2.
She was.
Would you call it temporary representation?
Probably.
I mean, she wasn't back for the next movie, so that's as temporary as it gets, I guess.
No commitment. People really be QT backing themselves. Quote tweeting.
Quote tweeting.
Back there, oh yeah, they do. Yes, they do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they do. Elon pretends to be a child.
Can I do a screen share for this Jonathan Majors next topic?
Sure.
Okay.
Oh, Jonathan.
Well, it's not letting me. Never mind.
I think one of the most annoying things about anything going on with Jonathan Majors is just the ignorance online. Jesus. People online that are just like, oh, well, maybe you shouldn't hit women, or maybe you shouldn't be a woman abuser. And I'm like, where the fuck is this coming? Like, is this you couldn't have read this anywhere besides someone else's tweet. Like, you didn't read this from like a credible trade. The news, CNN wasn't showing you a video of Jonathan Majors beating the fuck out of. Like, where is this coming from? Like, I'm just like, this is, and for you to just so confidently put it out there with a period and everything, like, oh, maybe you shouldn't beat women. Like, you made that bold ass, like, it's just, and I'm just like, where the fuck is this misinformation? That's the most annoying thing. That is the most annoying thing with all this.
You're watching Chillmonger. You're watching Marcus, Back of the Bus. You're watching Darius. His channel's Planet Fanatics. On Thursdays, we do a live stream called the Pantheon Podcast. We're at the Jonathan Majors topic. Sir, you guys, oh no, Darius. It was just Darius and Q and everyone. You guys were kind of upset yesterday of the interviewer going, hey, Jonathan, what did you think about Ezra Miller and then Robert Downey, huh? Hey, Jonathan, did you think they treated you fairly? It was genius. Having her say the quiet stuff for us, having her say that, and all he's got to do is listen to the question. Just that it's being asked made us newsworthy. Yeah, his big quote was heartbroken, and that was kind of the headline on everyone. But I don't think of her as an agitator, or she was fishing for that racism, wasn't she? Dog, she was the alley-oop. She was the John Stockton, better example. She was the Steve Nash to his Amart, better example. She was the Kyle Lowry to his Kawhi Leonard.
I want.
No way, I guess.
Yeah,
I'll let you go, Marcus.
I want Jonathan Majors to end his relationship with TMZ. Whatever that relationship may be. If they just randomly running into each other out there in Los Angeles, which I hope is the case, whatever the relationship may be, I want this to stop. And the reason why I want this to stop is because they could have just as easily gotten this quote over the phone. He could have texted it back to them. Oh, hey, Jonathan, I just so happened to meet you coming out of the wherever you're at right now. I totally didn't track you down here. Or
was he coming from the gym, not sweating?
Yeah, right. You know, I don't think we're in a place anymore where we need to be coordinating anything. And then even more than that, like, why would you want them back? Make them rue the day that they cut you. When in the midst of some other major studio deciding to take a chance on you, because if you continue to succeed the way you were prior to this situation, you'll be right back in that situation. You'll be right back where you were in terms of another studio willing to give you another lead role. Are you ever going to be Kane the Conqueror again? I don't know. I can't promise you that. I can promise you, as long as you are still the type of actor that you were prior to that you have a chance to be a leading man in Hollywood again. Don't go back looking for Marvel crumbs. To hell with them. I'm much more apt to the Johnny Depp attitude to things than I am to the Gina Carano. I don't want you to hire me back. Fuck you and the couch that you sitting on right now.
And $1 million alpacas.
I don't want to have nothing to do with that. And him winning in spite of Marvel moving on is stronger to me than any type of emotional pressure to be put on Disney to hire him back. I don't think that's realistic, and I think it's a little bit of a waste of time, especially because, fam, you won. You won. Not he won. He didn't win, but I think from where a lot of people were expecting him to go or would have liked him to go off the heels of this situation, he's fortunate. Take that and run with that. Stop looking behind you.
You mean the movie Merciless, the independent, from the guy who directed the one about child trafficking, Angel Studios. You know the one. It was big last year, especially amongst right-wing people.
Oh, yeah. The guy he was in Passion of the Christ.
So we know the movie, right? So
Christ. Yeah.
the same producer in charge of that, he's doing the new movie called Merciless that Jonathan was cast in as the lead role, independent. It's going to be filming in Canada in the fall. You're saying that's good enough? Take that because that's a victory. I want the.
I'm saying you're still getting career opportunities. You're still working.
Is that a career opportunity?
Forge ahead. It's a paycheck. It's an opportunity to still be seen on screen and do what he does. There is nothing coming from that path, man, barking up that tree. I don't have anything for him. They're trying to strike his character from our consciousness with the nostalgia bomb of Robert Downey Jr. They're not opening that door again. So forge ahead and make them rue the day that they ever denied you. I would much rather see that than to have these teary-eyed conversations about losing our Marvel spot. Marvel's not in a position for you to have. I like that he didn't necessarily throw Robert Downey underneath the bus or even Ezra Miller to that point because there was no reason to take that shot.
Because those are some planned answers and planned questions, everyone. This was all staged, I'm telling you.
Hey, I'm gonna leave it alone.
Mature. Didn't he look so mature by choosing the higher? I'm just going to talk about what is fair. She's asking what's unfair. Well, it's fair for Robert Downey to get a chance. Don't leave it alone. He handled that gratefully. Except he said Ezra Miller. He said Mr. Miller, which I don't think Mr. is acceptable for Ezra. So he doesn't get. He's a non-binary pronoun.
He's a them. Yeah. He's a them. He's them. Okay. Yeah. You gotta kind of keep all that stuff in your head. Anyways, yeah. I don't like it. Don't show your belly to these folks in some hope that they might offer you a job back. Screw them, and hope that this Hail Mary that they're throwing with Robert Downey Jr. and the Russo brothers crashes and burns. Because if it does, what are we even watching MCU movies for?
One quick Google search shows you that worked. The sympathy he's getting, there's TMZ, Variety, IGN, People, Forbes, they're all talking about this Jonathan Majors quote, his comment that he's been replaced and that he's heartbroken, and they're giving favorable. I hate ads. I'm trying to get rid of these ads, but they're giving him favorable coverage all over the place. The Robert Downey comparison has always fallen flat, given that he was convicted of nonviolent offenses decades earlier, and Majors was convicted of a violent offense. Maybe this is backfiring. It's actually not doing what I thought it would do.
This is terrible. Yeah, this is bad.
So yes, it makes sense that the two have been handled differently. I suppose we can check back on Majors in 20 years and see if he has a path similar to Downey. Okay, so there's the difference. The difference is 20 years is a long enough time. And then the other difference is that,
first of all, there was no violence. 20 years in between Robert Downey's his criminal past and when he was cast as Iron Man. There's 20 years in between the past and now. But there wasn't 20 years in between when he was in trouble with the law in Iron Man 1. That's number one. And then number two, flattening it out as if, oh, well, Robert Downey's was non-violent crimes and Jonathan Majors was a violent crime. First of all, I don't count I accidentally harassed you or I accidentally mistakenly assaulted you.
Good point.
As violent as opposed to taking intravenous drugs and doing God knows what else, whatever the fuck you're going to do while you're high on those drugs. I don't see those as two polar opposites. I don't see those as two victimless things, or excuse me, one is a victimless thing and the other one is a crime perpetrated against the victim. It's not as simple to me as what the article proposed there.
Especially when all you're doing is trusting the judgment of a jury. If you are trusting the judgment of the jury, you remember he got not guilty for intentional assault. Remember that. If we're just trusting them like they're the be all end all and they know everything. But as all the evidence is being presented to me, if I care to look into the case, the driver said he didn't do it. He's the one who called 911 for her anyways the next day. There's video of her ear being perfectly fine all night. She was fit enough to go to the club.
We don't even have to go that far. I can be as simple-minded as Forbes was in the article. I can just say Jonathan Majors was charged with a misdemeanor Robert Downey was charged with a felony. He's a felon. He's a
They're-
convicted felon.
Yeah.
Jonathan Majors is not. So which one is worse?
Hey, stop hating on my RDJ. He got out of jail and was blackballed into 20
Yeah,
different.
you know, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go
You
ahead.
can have it, Dre Mac. He made his way out. All I'm saying is
playing. That's
is
what
that
the smiley
there's
face. He's joking.
definitely a posture that makes Jonathan Majors in his situation worse than that of what Disney has already accepted from their current roster of actors, from Josh Brolin to Jeremy Renner to what is his name? I always call him Captain Marvel.
Jude Law.
Not Captain Marvel. I always call him Miss Marvel's dad. Can't think of his name right now. And then Tenoch Huerta. Where did his allegations go? I guess it doesn't matter if allegations are unfounded, right? If we never follow back up on it, then it's cool. We can just keep going. Maybe flirt with the Namor movie. It's just a double standard, and it's very blatant.
You know the way he starts there and he's wiping his eyes. You know what's coming, right? He's about to explode.
No, not at all. But I am going to. Well, the thing of one of the things for me is, like you were saying, Robert Downey Jr. is a felon, and Jonathan Majors got a misdemeanor. It's no different than politically right now. How, if, as I've said many times with the video, if the shoe was on the other foot and it was him chasing her, the conversation, God,
he under the damn jail. Oh my God,
would have been so different. No different than if this was 2008 and Obama was running and he had all of those criminal felonies that it wouldn't even, that nigga wouldn't even have been able to touch the White House door. So, of course, we know what this is. This is white and black. This is, and I can hear people, oh, we're always using the race card, but I played whatever hand is dealt to me.
Yo, I need that shirt.
Oh yes, it is an Angry Beaver shirt. Yeah.
Angry Beavers.
Yeah. It is. Dag it. But yeah, that is my. I just think it's all crazy. And I do feel bad for him. But on the thing about the whole the reporter, I don't know. Maybe it was planned. Maybe it wasn't staged. I don't know. I didn't think about that until honestly y'all were talking about it, and then actually kind of replaying the video in my head and how it all was coming out of a gym. You're not sweating. I just really didn't think about any of it. I do feel bad for him. I feel bad for him. I don't feel bad for him in the way that Marcus was saying. Like I agree with Marcus about, fuck Marvel. Like you said, Marvel's not in any place right now to for any actor, anybody to be begging to get into Marvel. As a matter of fact, you ask any actors in the business lately, no one's begging to get into Marvel. You look at Finn. Wolf, is it Wolfhard? Is that how you say his last name? Mike from Stranger Things. When he got asked on a lie detector test, would you want to join Marvel? And he asked, working with Paul Rudd, have you talked to him about getting Marvel? He said, oh, no. And then the lie detector says, oh, that's true. And they said, is that because Marvel's been bad lately? He said, oh, yeah, absolutely. And the lie detector test said, oh, yeah, that's true. So you've even got actors saying they don't want to. Thanks. Yeah, so he doesn't need to be kissing Marvel's ass right now. He needs to be going after whatever studios are trying to give him love. That's the studios he needs to be giving love back to.
How embarrassing would it be that if all of these potential meetups that we've been hearing about for the last couple of years, whether it was high profile directors or actors, and it's just flaming out because nobody wants to hitch onto a burning train.
Yeah.
And they keep twisting it as oh no, Marvel move on. Oh, they tried and they turned down his treatment. What if they are actively striking out when they're trying to reach out to, I'm going down an interesting rabbit hole. What if they tried their hardest to find another Doctor Doom to pivot to, and they just kept coming back to Robert Downey Jr.? Everybody kept telling them no. And then Robert Downey just sitting over here hey, look, if you're going to pay me $90 million, I'll come back.
Well, the rumor is, and this is just coming out from after a few days ago, after the SCCC, the rumor is they've been trying to, I said this last night, they wanted Downey, again, rumor wise, they wanted Downey for Multiverse of Madness. How we were all hearing, oh, it was Tom Cruise. It was Tom Cruise. It was never Tom Cruise. They had pitched something to Tom Cruise after going to Downey, and Downey said no. So they went to Tom Cruise, but they always had pitched Downey, and they had even pitched to him that, hey, we want you to come back and be evil Iron Man, and blah 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 blah. Downey kept telling him no. Then I guess they went to him again after the Russos. The Russos went to them with a pitch, and they have even turned the Russos down, and we're still going after Downey. And then Downey had proposed, well, I'll do it if you get the Russos. So then you got the Russos. You get
that's so noble of him to do that, because he's been looking out for his friends even during Age of Ultron. Go ahead, sorry.
That is true. So again, they blah 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 cut the deal with the Russos. This man is now getting close to $120 million for Doomsday, Secret Wars, the post-credit scene that's rumored for Fantastic Four, and that's assuming he shows up in anything else in between then.
God damn.
You think they ever offered him a Kang role?
Who? Robert Downey?
Robert Downey. Because it's not like the character has to be someone who's as dark as Jonathan Majors. This is
doesn't it? If they've started on this road, can they just pivot to a white guy and tell you, no, it's the same person? Just go with it.
Multiple universes.
I mean, multiple universes, but we had an arena. Yeah,
they showed us all of his variants already. We ain't seen a white guy in there. We ain't seen a white Jonathan Majors.
We saw Scrolls. I didn't see a white Jonathan Majors though.
If you were gonna get a whole arena of your variants, would you look for the white guys or?
You said there was someone hiding around somewhere, somewhere in the stadium.
But there's only one actor that could play the role. Don't even get me started on that one. The Rock was busy filming Moana. They'd make black people more mad. Let's give Marvel their report card right now. Kang and the way they treated him, F. Especially like being defeated by super ants.
Even before he got in trouble, he got beat by ants.
Let's look at Black Panther. Well, I would have given it an A. The only mistake would have been, they didn't really show his intelligence. He's supposed to be really smart. But that was an A until they killed him in Wakanda, whatever. That's an F, right?
Let's be gracious and say that the A from the first Wakanda, the first Black Panther and Wakanda Forever is an F. Maybe that averages out to a D.
Darius?
D.
Wait, are we giving it to who? To Wakanda who?
Or Black Panther. Their Black Panther card. Yeah.
So everyone's saying F. Everyone's saying F minus. Now it's the Black Panther. What do we say, everyone? And feel free to join the live chat. Darius, what do you give Black Panther? Their treatment of him. It's the Black report card at Marvel. What do you say?
The first. Are we talking his film, not Civil War?
Doug, the character, Black Panther.
Period.
T'Challa.
All of the appearances.
4 movies, and a funeral.
I'd give him. I'd have to go with that D. The D plus. Sorry. Oh fuck. Pause. No
D plus. Civil War. We had Civil War. Give him a D plus.
No, I'll go with the D plus. Because Civil War is what saves it.
Okay. Next, Shuri. What do we give her? She handled decently. I'd give her a B.
Yeah, I mean, until Wakanda Forever.
She was an afterthought in Black Panther 1, right? She had some good scenes, but she was mostly comedic relief.
She was what a supporting character was supposed to do. She was great
in
Black Panther.
Then in Wakanda Forever, she had a rush story arc that didn't perform well. I'm not giving that a B. And then now, what's rumored is that we're going to be moving right along from her in the third movie.
And they're going to give it to TJ.
Afterthought.
Oh, TJ.
Mary Sue arc replaced.
All right, fine. I say C+.
Okay. That sounds a little bit more fair. I probably will be a little bit more harsh than that, but C+ is fine.
D? Darius?
C's fine. I'll give her a C+.
Next character is Blade. F.
Oh, yeah. F.
Resounding F. Yeah.
And you can't say he wasn't in it. His voice was at the end of Eternals. He's part of this. Haven't seen him since. Treated terribly.
And this is
They're
not
making
just
jokes about him never being Blade.
Oh yeah. And this
Marvel
is not just any
that.
F. This is not just any F. This is a you've been missing some papers and accumulated a lot of zeros, and now you're in the negatives, and you got a long way to catch up. Type of F.
Can you imagine Kevin Feige going to Mahershala talking about like, oh man, Kevin, man, I'm so glad you gave this meeting. I have a lot to talk to you about the movie and the development. I had some ideas, and he's like, yeah, no, me too. Blade is really important to us, but I have something else to discuss. There's going to be a joke in the upcoming Deadpool film that we want to make sure that you're okay with.
And we thought we thought your movie would have already been filmed by the time this joke airs. That's why Deadpool's going to look at the camera like, get a load of this guy.
Yeah. We're basically going to say that there's never going to be another Blade, even though we're really committed to making another Blade. Is that okay? Is that all right? So smack fire out of Kevin. You smack that stupid hat off his head. Like, imagine coming to ask me permission to make jokes about the movie that you're supposed to be making, that's supposed to be a priority to you, not being made. Like, you're going to acknowledge the running joke of a production this actually is to the world, to our customers, and make me the butt of the joke.
Yeah.
Now, I would hope that wasn't the way that went, and that Mahershala is just a big enough person to be like, let Wesley get his shit off. Like, that's the OG Blade. I hope. But I can also see the scenario where they had to clear that joke from him or with him in the midst of them actively not making the Blade movie. That would send me. That would send me. Oh, you want to make jokes about me in somebody else's film, but you won't finish my movie?
That was my question. That was my question. Did they sit down with Mahershala? Did they say, hey, I don't know. Was he in on the joke?
Because even if they did clear it with them, you got to think, as we are presently, his actual Blade production has been a shit show. So they're not really joking. They're kind of like they're poking the bear at what's actively a problem in Marvel, and then you want him to be able to proclaim that he's going to be the only Blade in one of the biggest movies that Marvel is ever going to do.
Right. Let's keep things going. So they mishandled Kang with Jonathan Majors' treatment. Let's go back in time. What about Rhodey, who was originally cast as Terrence Howard, and then they did that contract BS that they didn't need to do. They blew it there. How about with Rhodey? Even when Don Cheadle is your family member, aren't you? You're not. No.
Well, they replaced him, and then they made him a dead end character. They never gave him any personality. They didn't give him a partner. They didn't give him any family members. We don't know shit about Rhodey.
He was disposable enough to just make a Skrull like that. Darius. F.
Don Cheadle doesn't even know shit about Rhodey. Yeah. Don Cheadle even said in an interview, I hope in Armor Wars we learn more about Rhodey. I hope we learn about who his love interest is. What does he do when he's not in an Avenger? What is it? Because we don't know shit about him besides boom. You're looking for this? That's the only really.
And we only have that like as a high profile line because New Rockstars was making fun of it, and they kept playing that in their videos. Boom, we looking for this. It really wasn't a significant of a line. Come on now.
No, it wasn't at all. But that's just what he is known for. That is it.
Salute to New Rockstars. Rhodey
asexual. He's asexual. He doesn't have a partner.
Understood.
He's never even like turned an eye like he was interested in a woman on his thing. But that is another running theme. I think T'Challa is probably the only one that's had a female partner in Marvel as far as black male characters go, unless I'm missing somebody.
But then it goes to what Samuel Jackson said. How come none of them have ever hung out? None of them have ever been on screen together.
Mm-hmm.
They're asking for Monica. Actually, you mentioned Sam Jackson. Nick Fury. Okay. What we think about Nick Fury? Okay, he was cool at the beginning. He was the shield, the glue guy, keeping things together.
Just for the sheer amount of projects he's been involved in kind of gives him some reverence. But then again, with the one and only time that we get a chance to have a solo Sam Jackson, Nick Fury project, and it was abysmal. It was abysmal.
But you got to keep both eyes open.
Yeah, that was yeah, Winter Soldier, yeah.
And then the cat scratch, which the Flurkin scratch,
which that pissed me off so much. Give me a good Nick Fury story, not some fucking random cat alien scratched his face. And
Nick Fury went down to sea. If you would have asked me right before the Captain Marvel movie, I could give you him. He's still a race off.
That's it. It's before Captain Marvel. In Captain Marvel, I don't even and I know that this is like I don't even really care about this shit anymore to really have these type of theories. Like I used to have a theory that the dude from the Department of Damage Control was a scroll. I don't even care anymore. But like I thought in the Marvels, that just couldn't have been him. Like that could not, because the acting was so completely different than anything we'd ever seen from Sam as Nick before. Like he was so unserious. Like Black Girl Magic. Like I'm just like, what is this? Like the fight on the ship when he's talking to her while he's shooting the dude, and then he cocks the guy, he's like, good theory. Like I'm just like, what this well, yeah, I just no. Before the Marvel, sure.
Monica Rambeau, Photon. Or can I even call her Photon? Because they pulled the scene where her superhero alias would have been announced. What? I think they're planning on making her the second Captain Marvel, or if you're a comic fan, the third Captain Marvel. I like the benefit of name recognition. Let me.
Yeah. Go.
Having a name like Photon, which you don't share with anyone else. We don't got to say which one, huh? Like Spider-Man, which Spider-Man, or which Captain America. You already know Photon. If the general audience, the millions and millions of fans, are going to be introduced to Monica with a name, don't let it be Captain Marvel. Photon. They robbed that from her. They filmed the scene. Teyonah Parris said so. They even changed the comic book name from Spectrum to Photon. It felt like we were all gung-ho. And then during the editing of that movie, bringing it down to 90 minutes, they pulled the scene. This character...
They've already done the disservice of electing Carol Danvers first as Captain Marvel. And since that's where we are, don't double down on it by making her the hand-me-down. That's the type of shit that's really like not getting me on board with this. Oh, they're changing direction, they're pivoting away. I don't think they are. I think they're just counting on the fact that you really love these characters and these figures enough to just eat whatever they put out for you, because the stuff that matters to us doesn't matter to them. Me and Josh on Sunday, we talked about, a rumor that the Celestials are now going to be made out of antimanium.
Or adamantium.
Adamantium, yeah. Why? What? How would that even be possible if vibranium exists? And we know that happened due to the meteor. But now, if the Celestials were here during creation and they're made of adamantium, then it's basically just making it in reverse. Like, why? Like it's just little small detail-oriented stuff that they kind of throw away, which lets me know that when they go down and hunker down and really decide how these stories are going to go, we're still going to get some of these weird twists and turns that don't have anything to do with the overarching narrative, or at least what we think the overarching narrative should be, because they're thinking something completely different, because that shit is not important to them. It's just not. I don't think it is, and that worries me.
Look, we're going down the pattern. It's not. I don't think it is. It isn't. Monica Rambeau, Darius, Photon, or Spectrum, as Kenny likes to call it.
Oh, I said G. Yeah,
and someone Williams said that she didn't have parents. Her mom and dad are comic characters. They exist. They exist. They're not superheroes or anything, but they exist. In the first Captain Marvel movie, there was a scene where young Monica, that little 10-year-old played by Akira Akbar, that was Monica Rambeau. Maria said, "Here, go with grandma and granddad." Okay, that pushes the single mother kind of narrative. That's a trope. If you watch Haunted Mansion, if you watch Strange World, if there's a thing happening in Disney, Tiana, Princess and the Frog, her dad magically...
Oh, there was no father in Haunted Mansion?
No, there wasn't. Eddie Murphy version, yes. The new one with Rosario Dawson, no.
Right. Yeah, I knew Eddie Murphy. Wow.
Yeah, they go out of their way. Yeah, this whole fatherless thing is a thing for them. I'm gonna have to give a failure to Monica too.
Those are small, like little oversights that don't feel like a lot in the moment when you're watching the movie, but they start to compound themselves, and then you look across the spectrum, and it's like, yo, what is this? Like, all of these random little occurrences that change the story just a little bit, and you end up with a totally different kind of product. I don't trust that all of Marvel's problems are fixed by bringing in Robert Downey Jr. or even the Russos, because they haven't decided to do something different. They haven't decided to go back to what they were doing narratively back in 2008. If they're not going to decide to do that, then I think we're lost.
Sam Wilson, the Falcon. Now he's calling himself Captain America.
Before he was Captain America, I didn't mind Sam. I mean, like I said, I do shit on Anthony Mackie because I can't stand Anthony Mackie. But I didn't mind him as Sam Falcon before now. And then too, I just don't like Anthony Mackie.
Sounds like you don't like Anthony Mackie.
I don't.
I'll say this has been a B-. I don't like that he's going to wear Captain America and they're going to give him a movie now that he's Captain America. I think that sends the wrong message. Hey, act white. Now you're movie worthy. That's not what I jive with.
Or take on a white man's role and then you can get your own movie. You start acting like Chris Evans, then all of a sudden you can be the guy. It's just, I like you said,
Elevate Falcon.
That feels well.
Make Falcon a top tier name. You made Black Panther a top tier name. You can do it. Doctor Strange became a top tier name. You elevated unknowns like Deadpool.
And I think they're kind of closing the door on the reversal of this. I think a lot of people thought that this whole elevation at the beginning from Sam Wilson to Captain America was temporary. But with them anointing the new Falcon, it essentially fills that role, which keeps him locked in as Captain America in this universe in perpetuity. So it's like, so we're not even going to do the thing where the original guy comes back and reasserts himself in that role and Sam goes back to being Falcon. No. He's Captain America in perpetuity. Like, so we're just doing this. That is who he is for good. They couldn't have ever thought that Sam Wilson, Anthony Mackie, whatever you want to call him, could carry the MCU in any capacity. They couldn't have thought that. Now, if you thought that he could have a good movie flanked by Harrison Ford and Giancarlo Esposito and some of these other stars are going to be involved in this movie, that doesn't seem as far-fetched to me as thinking that he can be the new head of the MCU. That's preposterous. I don't think there's any stitch of evidence, theatrically or otherwise, that suggests that Anthony Mackie can carry the MCU.
It's not even no. I mean, and anybody that ever entertained that thought should have immediately been fired. I mean, immediately resignation.
So why are we filling the spot with a Falcon with this other guy that we don't care about?
I don't know. Any other superheroes that we're missing out on?
Right? Yeah.
Joaquin Torres. Any other superheroes that we're missing out on? Everybody. I think the Marvel.
That's the black ones.
Ironheart.
I mean, if you really want to dig deep, you could talk about Lawrence Fishburne as Goliath, but
Goliath.
See, they're wasting the castings. What did you say about Sidewinder? How Giancarlo Esposito, we were saying, oh my God, he's going to play this character, that character. When it finally gets to the casting, he's playing a character whose face is red. That's not even a melanated character. Representation is important. He's going to be elevating the franchise or the IP of a red-faced Serpent Society leader. Representation is not that hard. It's not that hard, and they've completely dropped the ball. Of course, they're doing Jonathan Majors dirty like this. It would be odd for them to not do this to Jonathan Majors.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. I just don't understand. What was his representation thinking? Like, was all of the Professor X stuff maybe coming from his camp?
Esposito?
Yeah, like they were trying to really pub it up to try to make Marvel second guess what they were lining him up to do.
They probably really had those conversations with Giancarlo, but
come on, man, what is the track between Professor X and Sidewinder?
There's that's what I'm saying. There's this.
How did we get here?
And then
Kevin off. Did I show up late to a meeting? What did I do? Like we were talking Professor X, and now I'm Sidewinder.
Maybe it always was Sidewinder. Maybe it always was Sidewinder because there's no way he is sitting here pumping up. I'm not even talking about. I'm talking about most recently where he's like, and I'm going to get my own show after. And you guys, this is one of the coolest Sidewinder. No one's checking for Sidewinder. And then when you mentioned him being red, that's not shocking. It's and the reason that's not shocking is because all of Ahsoka. It's just like we don't get. And that's a whole. I could go on a whole another conversation on that. But that we just don't get that. We don't. That's
You don't get a
preposterous.
full production humanizing your skin tone with a role, and that's what at Disney. Hell no. Hey, Jamie Foxx played Soul, right? Was it Soul in the Pixar thing? He's gonna be
Where 90% of the film he was either in a cat's body or he was a walking bubble.
it's just like the frog in Princess
just
and
like
the
the
Frog.
frog and Princess and the Frog. Yeah.
I'm not paranoid for imagining these things, so yeah, of
No,
course
you're
they're
not.
gonna do.
No.
They're gonna do Jonathan,
No.
and I'm also not paranoid by listening to the voice of this interviewer. Okay, it's the same woman all the time.
Hey, Jonathan, how are you? Looking good.
So this was from 4 months ago.
Oh,
Why is it the same woman?
lady? Like, why do they feel like they have some sort of relationship? Like, ooh, let me turn on my Find Jonathan app. Where is he at today?
Let's see. This one was
Oh,
from
Johnny, that
two-
don't look good. I
this
didn't
was
know.
2 ago.
That's funny. Oh God, he said, "Oh shit."
He's
Are
very
you maybe
familiar
gonna
with
get
her.
engaged? I mean, do you want to propose? You want to propose, maybe?
Of course.
I love that. So you guys have had the conversation then. So, okay. I mean, you guys are a power couple. I mean, have you felt the support from like, your community and your families?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Both families on board then.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, do you guys plan to do like a movie together? I mean, you guys are both. You guys are both amazing actors. Come on.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Okay. I mean, you just landed your major role since being back. I mean, how does it feel to be back? Have you felt the support from fans?
It feels great. You know, I'm just excited. You know, I just love it so much. So yeah, I'm excited and I'm feeling a lot of love from the homies and from the fans. So yeah,
He doesn't always give great answers either. So it just really makes me scratch my head, yo. Like, you just popping up. Oh shit.
What up? What up? What up? What up?
Oh hell.
Whoa.
Yeah, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. I'm in here.
Hey.
Chillmonger. What up? What up? What up?
We got the comic expert Josh back at
All
the
right,
front of the
all
bus.
right. Well, never mind. This is a terrible idea.
I'm gonna ask you what happened in War of Kings by Dan Abnett.
You know, in War of Kings, it was crazy, right?
Was
So, like, you know, a couple things happened. I didn't even expect it, right?
yeah,
So,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Don't do that.
Considering Vulcan was part of it, they were building it up with Black Bolt and his empire. And
No, Vulcan didn't even do that shit.
Vulcan? The
No,
thing
Vulcan
is,
didn't even do that.
Professor X definitely steered him in that way. He wasn't clear of sound of mind. You know, we would learn
No,
later. You're right.
he didn't even do that shit. You're lying.
I think he has to hold some accountability, but fine. Yeah, I'll give you that. It was all on Black Bolt. I'll give you that.
It was on Black Bolt.
For sure.
Bullshit.
He needs to learn
You're
to keep his
lying.
mouth shut.
What's up? Why we stop talking all of a sudden? Now I came in here.
Well, y'all
What do you
started
think?
having comic book conversations, so I humbly
Yeah, but I
let it
can't
out.
have comic book conversations. Chillmonger just invited me to be on bullshit.
So Jonathan Majors, he's getting approached by this woman. She's asking him questions. What do you think of the woman who's doing that to him? Like, do you think wrong of her? Do you think that she's part of the skit? Like, Jonathan knows he's gonna get headlines for this. He started with the heartbroken answer, and then she's asking.
Jonathan absolutely knew he was going to get headlines for anything that he said because he was absolutely media trained for everything that he said. But I feel like he handled that absolutely incredibly. I felt like it, at least.
So do you think he set it up then? Because I do.
No, he didn't set that up.
I
Do you
can't
feel
tell
like-
anymore.
Wait. Do you feel like he set up the little situation where he got the little girls out of here when they were about to fight?
No.
You know, I don't know. I don't know. I can't tell anymore because they are always in perfect position to find this man doing something or walking to nowhere so they can ask him a bunch of questions. It
I bet she
feels
was the interviewer too.
Yeah, and she's the same interviewer, so it feels very much so like either they got his location on lock and he giving them a little back signal when I'm gonna be out, or they stalking this man. And either situation is very like we don't need to be doing.
Maybe he got to connect with them. He got to connect with TMZ.
He got the TMZ connect, but he don't need it no more. Like I would much rather see him fade to black and kind of normalize his life than to be in TMZ's greatest hits.
That didn't stop the fight between two young girls. What
He got to start
happened?
wearing his fucking bowler hats too. That shit gotta go.
Were you just trying to be a helpful guy?
I think that's her voice, isn't it?
No,
That
okay.
sounds like
I wasn't privy to all these other TMZ interviews outside of the one where he broke up the two girls fighting. That is the same bitch that was just on the other videos. And every time that she seems to, and I don't know, I'm no conspiracy theorist, but every single time that she seems to catch him, where is brother going? Like,
Nowhere. He's never going anywhere.
Where is he going?
No, he's going to the Kango shop. He's going to the Kango shop every single time. Paperboy hat every time.
Let me play the whole video though. She is going to his car, and he holds it open like he's not done answering the questions.
Because she probably got off script.
Did you know the girls? You didn't know them.
School fight. I saw it. That's all.
I'm sorry, what?
School fight. I saw it.
Oh, a school fight at the Hollywood High School.
Yeah.
And you just wanted to stop and make sure that nobody got hurt?
Of course.
Of course. Thanks, John. Were they okay? Were they okay?
I'm hoping so.
Yeah? What can I ask what happened? They were just fighting and you just pulled them apart?
If she asked that again, I'd have.
Yeah. Yeah. They're all good though. What's your message to the girls?
Girl, get out my face.
That's what I would have said.
Thank you.
It sounds like she had a script to follow and she forgot some of the key details that she was supposed to get out of that whole interview. So then she can, yeah, by the way, what was the message? Because you're supposed to say these nice things that make you look good. I'm not saying the breaking up the fight was fake. I'm not saying that. But I'm suggesting that, yo, I'm going to be here any minute now. TMZ show up. And it's the same woman all the time. So same phone number he's calling. I'm not saying he did what they accused him of doing to Stephanie. I'm not saying he's a bad guy at all.
No, I mean that doesn't say. Look, man. First of all, we're dealing with celebrities. We're dealing with an actor. Number one, right? So like, just take it with a grain of salt for that amount of reasons. And then also on top of that, I could see where he is that a grain of salt. Okay, there you go. I could see where he maybe someone has convinced him that this is in his benefit to have these communications, whether he's setting it up or not, because it's keeping him in the public conversation, which keeps him closer to getting more work. I just don't feel like the Marvel one is the one that kind of set me over, because it's like don't show your belly to them people. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. Not to them.
Just asking the questions was the publicity he needed.
Agreed.
For sure. I'm glad he got a little bit of a moment without Megan Good. Because I swear to God, every single moment that he's had in the last 3 or 4 months have been about Megan Good. So
You heard what Kat said. That pretty black woman cut his time in half. And he's been there cutting his time in half ever since.
hey, I've been watching y'all every single time on Thursday and Friday, because I swear to God, y'all switch up every now and then. But rock out. I'm fucking with it. I'm out.
Thank you, Josh.
Appreciate it.
I doubt.